Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be taking a look at the first 4 issues of what I believe is going to be a 6-issue series called Fizzle by Whit Taylor. These are put out by Radiator Comics. Saw this on Instagram, thought it looked good, and went and ordered the subscription. So I've got the first 4 since they're out, and I'll get number 5 and 6 whenever they get published. Totally exactly the thing that it looked like and that I was going for, and that I was like hoping this was the type of book it is, which is what I call like the Rust Belt review crowd. It's a lot of people, like all the artists that are in the Rust Belt review, artists like Alex Nall, also artists like Nicholas Offerman. Just there's a lot of people that seem to be recording these down to earth, like slice of life stories in about characters in failing, like rural edge of the suburbs type of, dying towns. There's a lot of, I don't know, just really good human literature being written, and this is potentially in that category. It seems like it. I'm gonna have to wait and see what the ending of it is, but it's really just deep dive character study stuff. So the main characters that you're getting to meet are Claire and Andy. Here's Claire, this is Andy. They're a couple. You get to see them right away. You get to see like what they're doing, and they're just going about their life. They're going and ordering some food. She's getting a concrete ice cream. That's kind of what it is. It's just people go about living their lives, and you start to get a sense of who they are, who their characters are. You learn more about them. Like Claire is someone who works at a tea store. I don't know if barista is the right term for someone who does tea, but she's a tea barista, and has her boss, Polly, the owner of the store, is like kind of a tea snob, like this snobby chef. So you're learning about her strained interactions with her boss. But the boss is like kind of rude, but also kind of an inspirational, compelling character, because she's founded her own business and learns all these things about tea. So there's just like these little things about each character that make them feel like very real people you're learning about without ever feeling like you're just reading an autobiography or something. And also, really good job being done making you dislike a character when you're supposed to dislike someone. So here they're all sitting together, and this lady's going on, and you can see even just in the way that she's drawn, she's like this looser, more open, like hippie character, and just saying like Clueless is totally the modern day Emma, and they're like, oh God, you're gonna compare that to Jane Austen. Just those things where conversations, they don't feel like stock conversations, actually feel like conversations, actual people who are up to something other than just going through life like robots would say. Very little things like that without much, like I couldn't tell you what the overarching plot is so much as just like the evolution of all of these characters' relationships. One of the things that's interesting I found structurally that shows probably what is the biggest plot element. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure though, because I haven't read the final 2. But one of Claire's co-workers seems to be like a really nice, fun guy that she gets along with well, and he obviously kind of likes her. And there are some tensions showing up with Andy. So that seems to be like what's going to be the major, I don't know, kind of like peak of the story. But it's not like at the center of it. It's almost always, except for one issue, at the end of every issue, there's like this little, he kind of shows back up and like gets her attention again. And I really like that structure as well, where there's all this other stuff you can learn, but you kind of do have the standard like plot thing that someone would want to latch onto. Another character that comes in that seems like they might have really like more long-term lasting impact in the final couple issues is Poppy. The owner starts bringing in some people to do talks at her coffee shop, and she's bringing in this guy named Rain Davenport, an entrepreneur, inventor, and founder of this nonprofit organization, Lifeboat. So he's getting involved in, obviously, like Claire's being exposed to those ideas, and then she's talking more with this coworker of hers. I believe his name's Jaime, but it could be Jamie. I'm not sure. I'm assuming, based on the drawings, it's a male named Jaime. So here again, Jaime's showing that he like remembers things about the conversation she's had, and she's realizing, oh, it's funny that you remembered that, and they're having these conversations. But it seemed like the introduction to this Rain Davenport is also might be like something she chases down in her listlessness, like following down some of his ideas. Some really fun stuff here where I always like where you have a document within a comic. So this is like not like Watchmen where you have it at the end of it and it's kind of this additional thing that you add on. I always love it when it's actually part of the design of the story, where you zoom in on a document. So you have this letter here from Claire to her grandpa Dick, who's again an important character in the story, just in terms of like the emotional arc of what she's going through. He sent her a book here that had a lot of illustrations that she's something she's researching on. So that's part of the story now. And that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of just these like kind of slow character building moments without this need for this intense central plot. But they're such interesting people that you keep going along with it. And then you're like, trying to figure out what is their relationship. Is it falling apart or not? Like some of the things that people would just be naturally interested in, I think. Like reality show type of stuff, but told in a like way less superficial, simulated way in a book like this. And just some things here where you have like these, I don't know if it's a visual metaphor or memory, but when they're in the house and they're either remembering a time that they were like closer to each other and out in the desert and things were more magical, or maybe it's some kind of visual metaphor about like just the disconnect in their relationship. But there's a strong sense here that they're kind of just going through routine, and that their relationship is probably falling apart a little. And then of course, like at the end again, there's the conversation with Jaime at work, and she's kind of thinking, what am I doing here? Like, am I flirting with him? So I think the last two issues are going to be where all of these like subtle emotional plot threads that have been scattered out the story will come together into a really like impactful ending. Not that that's necessarily what it needs, but that's what it feels like. So there's a lot of really great setup in here, but I don't know if I can give my final judgment on this as a complete work until I see it. Or like, is this a great work? Is it a good work? Is this someone who's like a really great entry? I don't know. Do they have other comics? Is this someone that like I'm going to obsessively buy everything they do, or someone I'm going to pay attention to? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it in the end, but it's something I feel like has a lot of potential, and I'm really looking forward to those final two issues. So I'm going to, once I get issue 6, or whenever the series ends, I think it was 6, I think I'll do a video then, like also to summarize the totality of how I feel about the series. But a lot of really great, promising stuff in these, and really great, what I would normally call functional cartooning, where there's never anything like over the top and flashy, but it's all perfect, tells the story perfectly, all the characters stand out, the expressions come across. It's just really story writer driven cartooning, and it's perfect for this book. So I would recommend it. Go out and get Fizzle and kind of like find the end with me. I think it will be a nice surprising way to read it, rather than getting it when all comes in one chunk, because it looks like it's gonna stick the landing. House on Fire by Matt Battaglia is a just gorgeous book where Matt's kind of making an emotional response to the years of COVID and wrapping that into a sci-fi dystopian future that really the sci-fi dystopian's backgrounded, and you're focused on the emotional journey of two characters in a really beautiful way. And then that's enhanced by Matt's like really awesome, loose, kind of Paul Popish dry brush work. And then Sean and Matt have worked to get this second kind of orange spot color in there that's going to look really, really beautiful, and has allowed Matt to use his dry brush technique to add tone to the thing too. So with Sean's production technique, this is going to be a gorgeous book with a lot of heart.